made it an intro session. So this lab is a common elective course 202, and we have 3 hours of practical. But due to the current scenario of COVID, there are some differences in the class timings and other things. So this is as per the new 2019 scheme, and the main aim of this course is to understand the fundamental concepts of mechanics of deformable materials. So we have basically two types of bodies. One is rigid body, and the next one is deformable body. So rigid bodies won't show any response to the action of force and the stress. Deformable bodies, they respond to the external forces, and that can be measured by the systematic experimental techniques. And we are interested in measuring or quantifying the various mechanical properties of the engineering materials. This is the material testing lab 1. There will be a continuation lab, material testing lab 2, basically on the cement and concrete side. So before starting the class, we assume that you are good in engineering physics, the mechanics of materials, and you know the use of vernier caliper and the micrometer screw gauge. Coming to the syllabus part, this course is having a total marks of 150. Out of that, 75 marks is for the continuous evaluation and 75 marks is for the end semester examination. Under the continuous internal evaluation pattern, we have 15 marks for the attendance and 30 marks for the continuous assessment of records and other things. There will be an internal test of 30 marks, and it will be immediately before the second series test of your theory subjects. It's all about the internal evaluation pattern. And as of now, or as per syllabus, the end semester examination, it consists of 75 marks. Out of the 75 marks, there will be 15 marks for the preliminary work, 10 marks for conducting the experiment, 25 marks for the performance and result and inference of the experiments. 20 marks will be there for the viva voce, and the 5 marks for the record. Still, the record is very important for writing the attending the end semester examination. Even if it carries only 5 marks, it is mandatory to submit the record. So regarding the record, you can write the record either in A4 sheets and then you can bind it, or you can write in a A4 sized college book. It is must that all the uploaded documents should be presented in the hard copy later during the corner class as well as for the examination. So coming to the cycle of experiments, the university stipulates around 15 experiments for the material testing lab 1. Out of the 15 experiments, 12 experiments are mandatory. So I will just explain as an intro to the various experiments which are told by the university. So the experiment 1 is on the study on stress strain characteristics of mild steel by conducting the uniaxial tension test on rod specimen. So in the third semester, you already went through the mechanics of solids or strength of materials. In that case, in this course, you learn the basics of stress, strain, and also on the this graph, that is stress strain characteristics of the mild steel. So those theory part will perform some experiments and we will uh, confirm the theory part in this lab or in this experiment. So just a quick introduction, we'll be having a loading frame and we will place the steel bar here and we will apply tension load on the rebar. So okay, after applying the load and during the performance of the experiment, we will measure the stress strain, and we will plot the graph to find the mechanical characteristics of the mild steel. So this is basically the mild steel, which is having a well defined yield point as well as the elongations. The same type of experiment will be conducted also on the torr steel. So the difference between mild steel as well as the torr steel is that the mild steel is having an Young's modulus of 250 Newton per mm square, and the high strength steel or torr steel is having 415 plus. And by the visual identification can be found by these corrugations. These corrugations will be present only in the high strength or torr steel bar. There are one more steel called TMT. It is called as the thermomechanically treated bars. So when you perform the experiment, like applying tension to the rebar, like the previous one, you will notice a difference in the stress strain characteristics between the mild steel as well as the high strength bar. Okay. I'm കട്ടായി പോകുന്നതാണ് ഇടയ്ക്ക്. Okay. I think now it's okay. So the difference between the mild steel and the uh, high yield strength deformed bar will be tested, and we will notice that there will be a difference in behavior between mild steel and high strength bar, because basically the mild steel is having more elongation and lower yield strength compared to the high strength bars. In the third experiment, it is on the estimation of shear capacity of mild steel specimen by conducting a double shear test on the rod specimen. So you know the difference between the bending force as well as the shear force. So there will be a testing apparatus. This will be different type will be in the available in our lab. So basically, difference between the single shear and double shear is clearly uh, depicted in these figures. In the case of single shear, this is the testing rod, and this loading apparatus or loading attachments will induce only a shear only in one plane, which is called as the single shear. And here, suppose this is the testing material, and we have three attachments. So this will induce yeah, this will induce two shear plane 1 and shear plane 2. Here only one will be there for the single shear. So this is to find the shear capacity value of the mild steel specimen. The experiment number 4 is on finding the flexural behavior of steel by the conduction of test on rolled steel joist. In the basic civil class, you learned about the various steel sections. That you learned the I section also. This will be the arrangement in the lab for testing the I beam. So you have the I beam here spanning from this point to this point, and you have the simply supported supports, support 1, support 2, and there will be a loading arrangement. This is called as the 2-point loading. So you have loading point 1, loading point 2, and this arrangement is due to some reasons which you can see in the left side. When you have already learned the shear force diagram and the VMD diagrams, suppose you have an arrangement like this region between the applied load and the reaction will be a shear prone region, both sides, right side and left side, and the middle section will have no shear and only pure bending. So as we are going to test the only focusing on the flexural behavior, we need this arrangement for the test. We have come calculations to find the capacity that will be discussed in the experiments. The experiment number 5 is on the study of torsional behavior of the estimation of modulus of rigidity. Excuse me. Yeah. It's on the study of torsional behavior of the steel by conducting torsion test on the rod specimens. You can see the testing apparatus here, and basically we are applying torque to this rebar or steel rod. So one end will be fixed and the next end will be rotated. So this wheel will be rotated. Correspondingly, there will be a rotation imparted to this point. So basically this rod will be twisted and you will use the basic torque equation to find the modulus of rigidity. The same type of experiment is done also on the steel wires or brass wires to find the modulus of rigidity using the torsional vibration approach. So we are using a different approach for finding the modulus of rigidity in this case. So we will basically rotate this cylinder. So we have the wire here. To find the modulus of rigidity of this wire, we'll attach an cylinder at the end and we will rotate this one. So this will induce a torsion to this wire, and the calculations using this torque equations will give you the modulus of rigidity. The experiment number 7 is on the estimation of toughness properties of the steel specimens by two methods. One is ISOD method and the Charpy method. The toughness property is defined as the ability of a material to resist impact. So we are doing two type of impact load. So you can see the arrangement. So this will be the arrangement which will be available in the lab. You have the specimens placed here, both in ISOD and Charpy, and you have a big hammer which will be allowed to swing and hit on the specimen. So this will induce some impact force to the samples. In the case of impact load, the specimen is arranged like this. It will be a simply supported beam with having a notch provided to initiate the crack. So we will be measuring the toughness of this uh, specimen in the Charpy test, basically simply supported, and in the ISO test is a cantilever beam test. So we will be applying the swing onto this position. So you can also see the arrangements which will be there in the specimen for the Charpy as well as the ISO test. And the next test is on the estimation of hardness properties of engineering materials such as brass, aluminum, copper, steel, etc. The hardness is defined as the ability of a material to make some impressions on a second material. So there are two types of tests or different types of materials used for performing this test. One is the Brinell test. This test, in a simple way, will place the sample here and you will select an appropriate testing apparatus. So in the Brinell test, you are using a square board, sorry, a cylinder, a sphere, and you will be releasing the screw from here so that the sphere is putting some impact on the specimen. So the deformation on the material will be based on the relative hardness between the attachment as well as the testing material. Similarly, the test 9 is on the estimation of hardness properties by performing the Rockwell test as well as the Vickers hardness test. So now you have three methods. One is the Brinell test, second one is the Rockwell test, and the Vickers test. So in all these tests, the variation is on the attachments. You can see in the Brinell you will use a spear. In Vickers you have a different arrangement. In Rockwell also you will use the spear, but there are some other criteria to follow for testing in the case of Rockwell. And also the test will be based on the material to be tested. So there will be some appropriate test for a brass material. For mild steel we may use some another test. Then the experiment 10 is on the estimation of modulus of rigidity of the steel by performing tension test on the spring specimen. So I have put a picture here. This is the spring available. So you will apply the tension load to the spring, and there are some derived equations based on which you will find the modulus of rigidity of the steel. But those are based on the torsion formula. Exercise number 11 is also on the spring specimen, but here the modulus of rigidity of the steel is found by performing compression test on the spring. Previous one was tension test, now the compression test. The experiment number 12 is basically on the study of the flexural behavior of timber material by performing the beam specimen. We have discussed in the previous experiment the test on steel section. So in this test we'll learn about the behavior on the wooden sample. Similarly, you have the support conditions and the loading condition also. This is only a just for demonstrate. This is not the exact loading type. You will be having a 2-point loading here also. The exercise number 13 is on the estimation of compression strength on the timber beam. So you have a small sample of timber here, and you will apply. So the bottom portion will be stationary, or yeah, yeah. This top portion will be stationary, and you can apply upward load from the bottom to compress the timber column, so that you can find the column properties of timber. The experiment number 14 is on the verification of Maxwell reciprocal theorem. I hope you already learned this theorem. Just to recollect the same, you have a simple supported beam. Suppose you are applying a unit load at the point C, and you are measuring the corresponding deflection at point D. This deflection will be equal to the deflection at point C due to a load at point D. So this theory, which you learned during your S3 classes, will be tested in our experiment number 40. And the experiment number 15 is on the bend and rebend test on the mild steel specimen. So you will place the rebar here. You will apply the bending force on the rebar, and you will get the required engineering properties of the rebar. So we'll do for bend and rebend in both the directions. And the university also uh, tells about some optional exercises. I'm just telling other things. They are on the fatigue test on the steel rod specimen. Basically, fatigue is all about, suppose you have a rod here, you will apply the force in both directions. Suppose in first step you will apply a upward force. In next cycle you will apply a downward force. So this reversal of stresses will weaken some portions in the steel rod. So the fatigue test is mainly to find the weakening due to the reversal of stresses in a rebar. Then the study of strain gauges, load cell. The strain gauges are used to measure the strain value in the experiment. So you can use it for measuring the strain in the case of testing of steel beam or even on the wooden beam. And this load cell will measure the load. So suppose you are placing one like the material here, and you are applying some force from above. This force will compress this load cell, and the compression, the pressure will be detected by the load cell, and the value will be transferred to the computer. So we can measure the load from this load cell, and the strain gauge, which when we placed on the surface of the material, actually based on the elongation or the strain happening in this arrangement, the value will be transferred to the attachment. And the last one is also on the buckling modes of the column. I hope you learned this one also, different buckling modes, the Euler buckling formulas. Based on the boundary conditions, the column will behave in different buckling modes. This is the case of a both end simply supported. Suppose one end is fixed and one end is hinged, and both end fixed and one end free. So these are the 15 experiments which are there in the syllabus, and we will take 12 experiments out of this. Hello, ma'am. Ma'am. So, ma'am, we have 12, 15 experiments.